In the process of gaining increasing belief in the validity of this as a tool to help marketers better craft message, better understand what people are looking for, and how to reach them in a way that they'll be most receptive to. By the way, the thing that appeals to me most is advertising culturally has become this notion of it's an interruption somehow, it's something people tune out. We have ways to think about how do I avoid it as a human being. And I think there's a really important piece there, which is part of the reason we ignore it is because it doesn't matter to us, it's not relevant to us, or it's not speaking to us in the way in which we want to listen. So if we can help the advertising community understand these are the core customers that you are trying to reach, they have these kinds of affinity for information coming in, and we can help you reduce the risk of misstating or speaking in a way that they don't understand. All that does is it raises the opportunity for that person to be more receptive to your advertising, hear it better, attend to it better, engage with it more, therefore raising the possibility that that advertising will have the desired impact. Now, we've got a bunch of case studies that we've done over time that I could tell lots of stories about, and there are a couple that are really kind of interesting. One, there was an article that Jack Neff wrote in the Ad Age, which you might have seen, that talked about the challenge that we as marketers face in going with the gut. The classic thing that, the data comes in, the research comes in, it tells you this, and somewhere along the line you're still going to say, I'm just going to go with my gut and make the decision. We all do it. It's natural. It's what we as humans do. The challenge, the risk, the fault in that line of thinking is we create things generally that we like. That's kind of the way the world works, right? And we, in the advertising and marketing space, are in what we refer to as the word row. So it's very verbal, and I'm one of those people. I'm a perceived, can you tell? So the idea here is when we go with our gut, those of us in the marketing and the advertising world and community, we tend to respond to things in the way that we respond, but we leave out large portions of the population for whom perhaps the message needs to be less abstract. Perhaps the message needs to be more bullet pointed. Perhaps the message needs to utilize a different kind of humor than might appeal to those of us who live in this highly verbal row. And we have a lot of evidence that suggests now that the risk of going with your gut is something that in an era where the humans are ever more elusive, difficult to connect with, moving ever faster, using all kinds of different mobile devices, and everything is changing so radically, so fast, it's the message that maintains the highest level of importance. Because if you get the message right, and you strike the right chord with a human being, they will stop, listen, attend, be more likely then to internalize that message. So there's a huge risk for those of us who play in the advertising marketing space by going with the gut. Not because we're dumb people, not because we don't have a lot of experience, not because we are somehow misguided. It's because of who we are and how we perceive the world, which is not the same as other folks. How often do you find yourself in a conversation where you kind of go, he just doesn't get it? Well, part of the reason is because you're speaking in the way that you will get it, and the person that you're speaking to is just in a totally different place. And you walk away and you go, we're talking like this. Well, the reality is you were, not intentionally, but it's because of how you operate and how your brain works and who you are. What Xyte can help us all understand is get below that level of kind of conscious communication and begin to understand how people's perception is influenced by who they are, how their brain works, how information and input senses operate. So don't go with your gut.